Now, a little bit want to go out west as well because, everybody's kind of counting out the Spurs, and it's pretty easy to do. I mean, 3-1 with the Lakers, and the Lakers, as immensely talented as they are, you would think that they would be able to win it. But, the Spurs, it's very weird. We saw it in Game 3, Manu Ginobili. If he can get hot, they could win Game 5 in Los Angeles tonight. And then if you get back to Game 6 at home and you can win that, you never know. Once you start to swing that momentum, we've seen it in sports, whether you want to go back to the 2004 New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox series, when you start getting doubt in people's minds, the Spurs, I think if there's any team out there that could maybe create some of that doubt, it is the Spurs because they have so much talent on that team.
Dennis, you're exactly right. If there's one team that's going to be extremely difficult to close out, that's the team. I talked about the Pistons being a team that has seen it all. Well, nobody's seen it more than San Antonio, and they're going to be a tough out, whether the road or at home. And as you say, once, say the Spurs win Game 5, and now it's 3-2, now all of a sudden the Lakers are starting to think, okay, now we got to go back on the road in that hostile environment. And say the Spurs win Game 6, now all of a sudden the Lakers have dropped 2 in a row, and it all comes down to a Game 7. So with each time you fail to knock them out, it increases the pressure for the team that has the lead. So I'm really looking forward to tonight's game because I think the Spurs have been a great, great champion, and I think you're going to see them just play with such desperation. It's going to be a very difficult out for the Lakers to eliminate them.
Mike Breen joining us from ABC Sports. Dennis Brown here, Coastal Broadcasting. We obviously thank you giving us a few minutes. Just a couple quick general things, and we'll get you out of here because I know you've got 10 million things going on. One, generally, this is just a general reaction from me, who grew up an NBA fan. I think there was a period of time where some of us kind of weren't as big fans, but the league has definitely come back. I feel like this playoffs has been as strong of a playoffs as they've had in recent memory, the last 4 or 5 years. I think both of these conference finals are really superb with Los Angeles and San Antonio and both Boston and Detroit. Just great series all around, great basketball. And, a lot of these games are now coming down to the wire, which, creates very intense and dramatic finishes.
Well, I agree with you, Dennis. I think the key was the way the regular season went. I think the regular season really kicked the momentum off. There were so many good teams in the West, so many good young players. You've got your old veterans like Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett who are playing well, and then you've got these great young players like a Chris Paul or a Darren Williams. So there's been a nice balance of the perennial all-stars and the new faces, and I think the regular season was the best we've seen in a long time. And then when you have that kind of build up into the postseason, it just becomes like a story that just keeps going on, and we're wanting to find out the finish. And when you've got your best teams in the East, I mean, Boston and Detroit, they were 1 and 2. Lakers and San Antonio, they were 1 and 3. So you've got your best teams at the end. That's the way it should be, and I think it's all been, part of what's been one of the best NBA overall seasons in a long, long time.
And finally, I just want to wrap up with a little bit for local for us. A lot of 76er fans down here. I think that they have to kind of be proud with what their team did this year. Obviously, they'll get into the playoffs. They didn't have the best record in the world, and you have to get past that. But they fought their tails off against the Pistons. They were able to pick up a couple wins. And I think there's a lot of momentum for this team. And they do have some money to spend in the offseason as well, so maybe they can bring in a star. But there is a good nucleus with this team, and more than anything, they're a scrappy bunch of players, and they really just don't give in at any point, it seems like.
Yeah, Dennis, they the way they didn't quit, and they could have quit on that season, the way they stormed back and really played hard, and then gave the Pistons all they could handle in that first round. Mo Cheeks deserves a tremendous amount of credit. Billy King, who got fired, he deserves a lot of credit because all these young players that he brought in, all of a sudden we started to see a little bit of promise from them. And then the guy, Ed Stefanski, the new guy, who's a terrific basketball man. So there's a lot of credit to go around for a team that you knew they were going to rebuild once they had to trade Allen Iverson. But they're on the right path. Most importantly, they play hard, and the fans appreciate a team that plays hard. And they've got some terrific young players. Iguodala is obviously very good. Thaddeus Young really opened some eyes. So it's a team that is not going to be ready to win a championship right now. But if you're a fan, if they're playing hard, if they're busting their butt every night, you can get behind them and support them. And that's the kind of crowd that they'll appeal to in Philadelphia.
Well, Mike, we thank you for giving us a few minutes. Mike Breen from ABC Sports. He'll be calling the rest of the Eastern Conference Finals and in the NBA Finals, so you can watch it all on ABC. And thanks for giving us a few minutes. And you have the best seat in the house, buddy.
Yeah, I feel that way, Dennis. Thanks. Nice talking to you.
Sure. Take care. Bye.